Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Microgreens show. So, I have a very special episode today. So, I asked a high school student to come in and interview me and to ask me questions about microgreens. He has been involved with microgreens for a little bit, but not too much. So, let's go on with that episode. My name is Nick Greens. I'm a horticulturist consultant, born and raised on the south side of Chicago. My favorite microgreen is pea shoots. The reason why I like pea shoots is I like to fry them up a little bit and put them into anything possible, especially macaroni and cheese. My best advice for new microgreen growers is to do your research. And after you do your research, do some more research of that research. It's all about finding out your market, what you're going to grow, who you're going to sell it to, and who else is selling it out there. So that's tons of research just right there. But I would start there and then figure out what you're going to sell. The materials that are a necessity for beginning growers, it's going to all go back to this story. When I started off with a $100 bill. And with that $100 bill, I bought some trays, some seeds, and some soil. And I think I also bought a dollar spray bottle. And I started off there. And I experimented, messed up a lot of trays, grew some good trays, and that's where it all started. It started with a $100 bill and the basic materials. The first thing a microgreen grower should know is who they're selling to. And after you find out who you're selling to, what are they selling on their menu, if that's who you chose to sell to. If you choose to sell to restaurants, make sure you study their menus. Make sure you know their ingredients they're using. So when you go in there with samples and go in there to impress the chef, you know exactly what kind of ingredients they're using. I mean, the first thing to do to spread your name for business is it's all about community, right? I mean, you can't do everything by yourself. So you need your community to help build the business. And when I mean by community, who's the alderman in your area? Who's the mayor in your area? Who's the state officials that are making the regulations? How many people do you know in that arena? How many teachers do you know that want a gardening program? Get involved. Get involved, ask questions, talk to people, tell people what you're doing. You'll never know who else you're gonna meet out there that wants to help you with this. Well, the way it works is it's basically just a germination process. So we're running big nurseries here. And if you're running a small scale, then you're running a little nursery. It's all about the germination process with microgreens. In order to get a really good germination process, you have to know the variety of microgreen you're growing. Each variety is different. Like, for instance, red vein sorrel. Red vein sorrel likes to be in the freezer the day before you like to germinate your seed. Yes, this is true. Red vein sorrel does like to be in the freezer. But when you put it in the freezer, it helps to tell that seed that it's wintertime. And usually that this variety likes to be hardened like that. And then the seed will, as soon as springtime comes, the seed will go ahead and pop up. So you want to mimic that type of environment for your seeds. So as long as you know these things, you're able to go ahead and move forward with microgreen growing. The best place to start growing is small places are really good. A closet, a back porch. I've seen somebody take a back porch and turn it into a greenhouse and start growing in that. I mean, if you really want to start this business, it's all about bootstrapping. Don't try to go big and fancy with all these crazy automated systems and stuff in the beginning. Go ahead and go, everything manually and figure it out. I think, that's the route to take. Some of the best advice that I can give to a smaller grower is to team up with other growers. There is larger growers trying to really corner the market. So with the smaller growers, I really advise you to go out there and team up with the other smaller growers. Go see what the other smaller growers are growing. Go see what they can't grow. Maybe there's some synergies between you two. Maybe you can grow cilantro and the other grower can't. The only way you're going to find out is reaching out to these growers and talking to them and figuring out what else is going on. If they don't want to reach out and they don't want to talk, then move on to the next grower. The best seeds to grow are the larger ones. So you want to grow pea shoots, sunflower shoots are probably the two that you want to start with. They're also the highest yielders too. The market, because they're easier to produce, so the market's bringing the price down just a little bit more. But they still do got a high margin there to make money off of. Non-popular, that's kind of, I don't know, that's probably something really not that, I don't know, I can't really answer that one because They're all popular. Maybe some of the ones that are harder to grow, like everybody's having problems with arugula. The reason why it's not being as popular to grow is because it's really hard. A lot of dampering off happens, and dampering is just when the plants are all crowded together, and they just don't like that much crowd together, so you'll have some die off in the tray and stuff like that, and that's just called dampering. So with dampering off, arugula is probably one of the hardest ones to grow, along with some other ones. But I see arugula, everybody having problems, and the big problem with that is just the seed source hasn't been dependable in the years. So it has nothing to do with the grower. It's just all about the quality of seeds that we're able to start with. My first personal advice to a grower is your passion level high? That's the first question to ask yourself. Because if your passion level is low, growing is probably not for you. You really have to have high passion for this. And the one word that I can say is honor. And in order to get honor, you have to be true to yourself. And when you're true to yourself, that's where the passion happens. So honor and passion is probably the two things a grower can have deeply rooted in their soul. Thank you everyone for joining me for another episode of the Microgreens. And I'm really loving doing these episodes. I'm having so much fun doing these episodes. If you have any comments on any of these videos I'm doing, please leave in the description below. And once again, happy Friday and be safe.